The noise around Notre Dame isn't going away anytime soon. At some point, Marcus Freeman has to ask if the NFL is a cleaner move for his career at this moment. So going to some college football, one of the topics we wanted to talk about, we saw it a lot on TikTok and socials. It's some of these bowl game grab bags, and there were some really cool ones. Some were just very basic. I think they were all pretty awesome. I think
Mhm.
just going there as a player and someone part of the team and getting a swag bag, some of the stuff was cool. One an honorable mention is Tulane and I think Ole Miss. The gear they got was very clean. What they also got was the Nike Mind sandals. So one of the newer Nike sandals that look like Yeezys. They
Yep.
look really cool. So I'm curious how they like them, how they were performing.
Yeah. No, I saw those. Those look pretty cool. Unreleased still, right? Like those
Yeah.
are just brand spanking new. Yeah. Give us a review. Somebody. That'd be freaking awesome to
Yeah.
see. But yeah, no, I saw those. They look really comfortable and
Yeah.
in my opinion, more stylish than previous pairs. So yeah,
Yeah.
no, those look awesome. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I guess regardless, like if I weren't gonna play, like let's just say, I was in a scenario where like, I was
Mhm.
looking towards a draft, gonna be
Yeah.
a draft for sure. Um, I would probably just, still go attend, just get a swag bag.
Oh yeah.
It's like attending like those conferences where you just go booth to booth and just grab a
Yeah.
bunch.
Just grab all the free stuff that they give out. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then I think for both of us, it's between these two for win of this week. There's still a lot of bowl games coming up. But for me, it's between the Hawaii Bowl and the Xbox Bowl.
Yeah.
Both of them had great swag. Hawaii, the Cal, I saw the Cal one, and I think I saw the other team as well. But the gear that they just gave was just so clean for Cal. The Hawaiian shirts, Cal like focus was awesome.
Freaking awesome.
And the Kobe's, and then I saw another video. I don't think I sent it to you, but it was also like all the pregame like clothing that they had in the lockers was like a bear with like the Hawaiian like type style. It was really awesome. I'll find it and send it to you.
Hell yeah.
But really like that one. But I also really Xbox Bowl. I think the gear was solid, very clean. But the big highlight of that is the Xbox Alley handheld device that everybody got. Just
Yep.
getting that before it has even dropped, that's gonna be what, $600-700
Oh
device.
yeah.
Getting it for free, sign me up.
Hell yeah. Completely agree. That thing looks badass. We were kind of sharing our thoughts on it previously. It kind of seems like that's arguably a better device than like what PlayStation has released with their
Mhm.
handheld device. Looks awesome. And then to get like early access to it as a player is awesome. The gear, it's good, serviceable. The Adidas that they gave probably, I think that's a pair that, I'd probably wear to the bowl,
Yeah.
put them in the closet, bring them back out when I hit 40.
Yeah.
That's the kind of swag I got from that. But I think the device alone, the Ally, is super cool, super,
Mhm.
super cool. And it looks huge. Like the screen itself is
Mhm.
awesome.
Yeah.
So, and then they can play it on their way back home.
Yeah.
Super sick. But yeah, and then on the other hand, the Hawaii Bowl, it might slightly take the cake for me. I hate to say it, but like, just the fact of you get to go play in Hawaii.
Mhm.
You get super cool Hawaiian merch. The button up that's just a Hawaiian shirt, and then the Kobe's on top of that, like swag galore. Like that is just
Mhm.
right in the realm of everything. And then to have it be Cal is even better in my opinion. It's awesome.
Yeah, no, that was a good one. So, but yeah, like I said, there's still so many bowl games. The college football playoff bowl games that are coming up next week. Like I said, I can imagine swag for that maybe being a little bit better because they're higher paying, bowl games, more views. But yeah, but like I said, both a lot of great swag. I think overall a lot of clean clothes. But yeah, I think those two were my top two.
Yeah, no, I agree. A close third might be the Oklahoma Jordan.
Oh
Big
yeah.
Jordan fan. It looks super fresh. I
Mhm.
liked all the swag that the Sooners had there.
Yeah.
50 Cent made an appearance to that as
Okay.
well, randomly.
Nice.
Pretty cool. And then maybe we got to look a little bit more into trophies as well, because the Xbox Bowl they put the LAX, on the trophy
Mhm.
itself. I saw the Pop Tart Bowl is an actual toaster,
Nice.
and they made Pop Tarts in it.
Yeah.
Pretty cool, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
can get inventive. Maybe Tostitos Bowl, like you just have chips and dip.
Chips and dip.
Yes.
Yeah.
Eat out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. We could look those up and sort of bring our reviews next week for that.
There you go.
See
Yeah,
all the trophies because there's gonna be some more trophies being presented this week. So we'll see.
absolutely.
But yeah, but that's I think the only other thing, it was one of my takes for you, but I'll read it. And I just want to do it now before it's too late because if you guys have been following us for a long time, we break a lot of news before the big media outlets start breaking it without giving us credit. We talk about things that everybody else talks about a week later, a few days after us recording this. And we've never gotten credit. We're never going to complain about it, but it's like we like to talk facts.
Mhm.
And the big take was for you was the noise around Notre Dame isn't going away anytime soon. At some point, Marcus Freeman has to ask if the NFL is a cleaner move for his career at this moment.
said it for a year now, right? Like it's been a
Yeah.
long time. And he just seems like the perfect candidate. Like
Hmm.
there's plenty of availability now.
Hmm.
And then to get him to go to a team to be alongside, maybe a new quarterback
Hmm.
and just really have, I guess the freedom to make the team a lot better. The Giants come to mind, the Raiders have always come to mind with,
Hmm.
Mendoza possibilities there. It just makes a whole lot of sense. And
Yeah.
what he's done with Notre Dame, he's kept them in relevancy.
Hmm.
He's been, a big motivator, it seems. He was a player once upon a time. He's younger for a football coach.
Hmm.
Like, there's years to develop around him. Yeah, he just seems like a great name to consider. And maybe we'll see it this year. This might be the season, but we've been calling on it for
Yeah.
God knows how long now, John. Like it's been a long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. And like I say, it comes up for me because there's so much noise with Notre Dame, with everything, with them not accepting the bowl invite, them getting the little, MOU that if they are, ranked above 12, they're an automatic bid to the bowl game where all these other teams are complaining. It's like, it's all this negative noise going to your program. And yes, it would suck for you to leave and those kids sort of being like, what the H, like, well, you're just leaving us. But it's like, no, I've also heard it, and I have to look into it a bit. There's a lot of teams that are sort of going to be refusing to play them. They're not going to put them on their schedule.
Mhm.
So it's like you're already getting so much negativity. And like I say, if you're not playing top tier elite schools, you're always going to have that asterisk on your team. So it's like, is it worth it to fight this battle when you're probably never going to win it? Or should he take advantage of this being one of the top coaches and just make the move to the NFL? Because, yeah, the Giants are there. You have Dart, you have a high draft pick. Bring in your guy, Love, bring in some offensive line to help that offensive line with Dart. There's the Titans job that's open. Cam Ward, do you believe in Cam Ward? If you do, you can make a change with him. You're going to have a top pick. So finding a great wide receiver to sort of help him, offensive line or even running back, bringing your guy Love in as well, moving
Yep.
on. And then I put three possible openings. One you mentioned, the Las Vegas Raiders. Pete Carroll, I think we're both calling it. He's out this year. I
Yeah.
think it's going to be a change. Fernando Mendoza, brand new quarterback. You have Ashton Genty, you know, uh, an elite version of Jeremiah Love. So you already
Mhm.
have that. So how do you develop that team? You have some nice young wide receivers, an elite tight end, elite defense. That with the right coach, you could do a lot of great stuff. So Las Vegas Raiders are a great option. Cleveland Browns, start over. You could get rid of all the quarterbacks. Nothing against Sanders, Shadur Sanders, but if you want to go there and just rebuild that organization, trade those players, get some draft assets, make a change. And the last one, the Dolphins. I think Mike McDaniels is out. I think they're playing well, but you already have A Chain. You just need a quarterback. Find a way to maybe move up in the draft. You might not be able to get Mendoza, but there's still some great talent out there. So it's like there's a lot of great options, I think, for him to have a successful career in the NFL. Um, and I think he should make the move, but we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. Another team to consider might be the Falcons.
Hmm.
I think that they'll probably move on, but a ton of great talent there too.
Hmm.
Make some sense. And yeah, one thing I keep seeing, you bring up the Dolphins, is that they're going to stick with McDaniels. And I too, I'm like you. I don't see why you would do that.
Hmm.
The team's a hot mess. Like
Yeah.
you just got absolutely spanked to a team that doesn't want to go to the playoffs either, like, or can't
Yeah.
go to the playoffs. They did
Yeah.
want to go, but can't. And he's just not even calling a competitive game. Like their performance against the Steelers is like unreal. Like he wasn't calling
Mhm.
time. He wasn't even trying to be competitive. Like
Yeah.
it's just he has no control over the team. It seems
Mhm.
to I have heard he's played his last snap there. Makes
Yeah.
sense. Don't really know if anybody else will even give him the light of day
Mhm.
at this point. And to be quite frank, I don't know. In a way, I kind of want like a guy like Malik Willis over him at this point. Like,
Mhm.
I just think he brings a lot of baggage with the stuff he says in conferences
Mhm.
as well. Like lack of accountability at times.
Mhm.
I hope he finds success. At least he's been paid. He's blessed with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I too
Yeah.
don't see it. But all of those options make sense as far as Marcus Freeman goes. Going back to that.
Yeah. Yeah. So like I said, I wanted to put it out there because I think we're sort of calling it that he should make the move. If it happens, we've been calling it for a year, but we're also doubling down this year that I think it's the perfect time. Like I say, I'm a Notre Dame fan. I love watching that program. Want to see them successful. Want to see Marcus Freeman also win a national champion. But I think the way things are going, his best option is to move out. This program may go really badly, but I also think that it sort of makes them join a conference, and whoever comes in as coach starts a new era for Notre Dame and finally being in a conference.
Hmm. Yeah, I can totally see it too. Yeah, it's their biggest enemy at the moment,
Yeah,
is not being in a conference.
yeah, but that's college. Anything else with college, Tim?
Um, just more of, these weaker programs getting into the playoff is drawing a ton of scrutiny based off of performance.
Mhm.
That JMU Oregon game was really sloppy. Portnoy put out a big video. I don't know if you saw that where the guy's like running and he's like had his arms up in the air, like
Yeah,
trying to run. Um, it's tough because then you take, just some of these players getting to a bigger stage and kind of showing themselves. Like one of their wide receivers, the quarterback there is very good.
yeah.
And one of the wide receivers broke somebody's on Oregon's ankles, and had a great touchdown run.
Mhm.
plays like that, make it worthwhile, in my opinion, too. Cinderella stories are always something that are fun to think about.
Hmm.
But I just think, when we talk about it, expansion's got to be it. Just get
Yeah.
a little bit more teams in there and still allow some of these, smaller
Yeah.
programs to get in.
Yeah, I forget where I saw it, who I saw it from, so I can't give credit to them. And like I said, I'm not going to take credit for this because it's not my idea. But I saw someone say to try next year is for that like where JMU is, Tulane, Alabama, Miami, like have a playoff game just to make it into the college football playoffs. So like
Hmm.
JMU has to play like a Notre Dame, and whoever wins from that goes into the college football playoffs. Because that still gives Texas, Notre Dame, Vanderbilt chances to make the playoffs by beating the team based off your ranking. So I thought that was like, yeah, let's try that next year, see how it goes, see if it works well. If it doesn't work well, then okay, let's find something else, expanding whatever it could be. But yeah, not the most interesting games. I don't think Cinderellas happen in college football much late in the season. I think it happens early in the season because teams are just starting to get to know each other and play
Yep.
as a team. But once it's late in the season, I think, Notre Dame, they struggled the first few games of the year, but then they became dominant. That's why that was a team, if they would have made the playoffs, could have made a big run and maybe even won the whole thing. Um, so I think it's a little different than basketball. I think that's what people sort of imagine this type of thing, like, oh, JMU Tulane could be the upsets, but I don't see it much in football the way I do in baseball.
I agree. That's very well said. Yeah. And I think back to like that Michigan versus Appalachian State upset, years ago with
Yeah.
the block field goal and they run for the touchdown. Michigan just wasn't that good of a team that year altogether, like,
Yeah.
minus that game. So it's just sometimes bad predictions, even by rankers,
Yeah.
is brought into consideration too. But yeah, no, I agree. I guess we'll see how they kind of move forward with a
Hmm.
lot of this stuff. But yeah, no, some fun games over the weekend in college.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was good. Texas A&M, I think that's just a
Ooh,
nasty loss to Miami.
3 points.
Yeah, I think that's a tough one. Alabama showed why they
Ooh, yeah.
they deserve to be in there. The rest was pretty much, Ole Miss. We knew they were going to win.
Yep.
Oregon. So this next round of playoff games will be a lot better.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Competition will be back.